X-ray 1, ready to check. Roger that.
Well, folks, look, on our segment today for military collectors, you're probably noticing that I am not in my military collector's clothing, okay? Well, I'm doing my other program, Bob Redfern's Outdoor Magazine, and we get a chance to travel all over the country. But right now we're in Union City, Tennessee, at a beautiful, beautiful park and museum here, and I've got with me the CEO and president of Discovery Park of America here in beautiful Union City, Tennessee, Scott Williams. Scott, I tell you what, man, thank you for having us here.
It's great having you here.
Well, we're in the military section here, and you know, I guess let's start with the overview of the park, because I mean, it's not just about this, but we're going to talk about that. But tell us about what all you have to offer here.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things about Discovery Park that's especially exciting is how we began. And we began 10 years ago, so you're here at a good time. We're celebrating 10 years of inspiring children and adults to see beyond, which is our mission. So Discovery Park was founded by Robert and Jenny Kirkland, who were philanthropists here in Union City. They loved educating young people and adults. They loved sending the senior classes to Europe. They funded pre-K for children here in the area. And so eventually they decided, let's build a center of education. And so they put an ad in the paper and said, we're going to have a meeting. If you want to join us and build a center of education, join us. And so 250 members of our community joined him that day. They divided the room up into science, technology, military, which is where we are right now, history, and so on and so on. And so the premise of Discovery Park is that you, whether you're the most educated person in the country or you're a kindergartner, you're going to come here and you're going to find something that's going to trigger inspiration. You're going to want to go get a book about something. You're going to learn more about the world around you that you had no idea. Now, as you might have noticed, we're in a rural community. This is a town of 10,000. Many of the people who live around here won't get to travel the world like Robert and Jenny Kirkland did. So they get to do a little bit of that here at Discovery Park. Oftentimes the young people that visit here will be getting on the escalator, and it's the very first time they've ever seen one. So imagine what great things we get to do here at Discovery Park.
Well, let's specifically talk about different sections around, okay? When you get around out there, you've got on the outside grounds, you've got a lot of things to see and do out there for kids, for adults, for everybody. I mean, I think that's really important.
Absolutely, and even just the arrival, as you and I had talked, when you see Discovery Park, it's shocking because it's unlike anything you would ever expect to see. And a lot of people would ask Robert Kirkland, who has since passed away, they would ask him, what is it? And he says, well, what do you want it to be? And he said, it is whatever you want it to be. And so whether it's waves or a dinosaur, you know, it's a remarkable building in and of itself. And then all around, we have a 50-acre heritage park. So it's heavily landscaped, very beautiful. We have a very large crew that works on the grounds and keeps them looking beautiful no matter the time of the year. 2 giant lakes that are connected by a man-made stream that you can walk along. Japanese gardens, European gardens, American gardens. It's quite an amazing place if you like the great outdoors.
Well, look, let's start real quick because I know our military viewers out here would love seeing what you have in here because these are pristine examples of history. I see the Ford GPW here. I've got torpedoes. We've got anti-aircraft guns. We've got anti-tank. There's a Japanese 75 millimeter over there, mountain gun. I mean, you've really got it all here, okay? And we're still
That's right.
Still working.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yep. They're telling us we're closed, but for you, we're going to stay open.
Well, I mean, this big thing right behind us, the Jolly Green Giant, of course, a big mainstay workhorse for the Marine Corps, actually. I mean, how do you do it? It must be really, really a big job to keep this up with all the staff.
Yeah, you know what? First of all, we have an incredible team here at Discovery Park, and I actually came to work here from Washington, D.C., which is a city filled with museums, and the crew here could easily work their way circles around the folks in Washington, D.C. No offense to anybody in the museums there, but incredibly talented crew here, and they are passionate about the work that we get to do. We're here, of course, in the military gallery. There's a whole nother section upstairs as we walk through that covers the Civil War, the Vietnam War. Probably one of my favorite things we have is we got the stories of local veterans And many of them have since passed away, but we've got them recorded in a little theater up there so that anybody can go in and push whatever war or whatever veteran you want to hear the stories of, and you get to really relive, what they experienced.
Well, and it's so important, I mean, from all the samples of military hardware that you have here. I mean, and even down to a soldier's cot, I mean, and the gear that they wore. I mean, these youngsters today, they're going to lose sight of what was before them.
Well, Hugh Wade, you'd asked me about who gathered a lot of this. Hugh Wade was a gentleman who is still very much around and part of the Discovery Park family. He's one of the ones who traveled around and purchased a lot of this stuff for Mr. Kirkland, who, by the way, spent about $100 million on this whole endeavor. But Hugh tells me the story of this helicopter. It was in the middle of a field, and it had Christmas lights wrapped all around it, and it was rusted and fallen apart. So if it hadn't been discovered by Hugh and brought here by Mr. Kirkland, it probably would be lost today. So it's amazing that we have this. You can climb up inside of it. You can sit up in the cockpit. A lot of times we'll have concerts out here for some of our military history events that we have. We'll have concerts, and the last time I noticed there were two young men who got the prime seats sitting right up there in the cockpit. So they stayed there the whole concert and watched it. So yeah, we have a lot of really remarkable things that happen here.
Well, look, tell all the folks out there how they can come visit Union City, Discovery Park of America. You've got a website. It's a great location. It is a truly good destination for the entire family.
Yeah, absolutely. DiscoveryParkofAmerica.com is where you can visit, and we have 3 brand new hotels right next door. So come check out everything we have to offer here.
Well, they do, and I will tell you, from the Sleep Inn to the Holiday Inn Express where we are, and Miss Anna Graham.
Anna Graham, that's right.
And her husband Richard. I mean, they're so
Great
integrally
people.
involved here in this. And so I tell you what, log in, do it, come on down and visit Union City, Tennessee, and come here because this is your destination. Thank you, Scott. We really appreciate it.
Great to meet you.
You bet.
31, ready to check. Roger that.